Today's topic is essential for anyone in a leadership role, that is listening. But we're not talking about just hearing words, we're talking about listening like a leader. This means actively engaging with your team members, listening and understanding their needs and perspectives, and using all of that information to make really informed decisions and inspire action. So whether you've been in leadership for a long time or you're just starting out, these tools will help you learn to listen like a leader and really use this tool for enhancing your leadership. But why does listening really matter? Well, there's a few things. The first thing is that it really builds trust and connection. When you truly listen, you show your team that you value their opinions and ideas. This also provides you with a lot of great insight about what motivates individual team members and then how to communicate with those individuals so that they get the best out of your leadership. It also uncovers hidden insights. People often have really valuable ideas. They may hesitate to share. Active listening will draw these out. You may have team members that are sitting back and listening to others, but being reluctant to share their own opinions or feelings. They could be nervous about the reaction that they might get from others if it's different to their opinion, or they may just be shy and not someone that really speaks out a lot. So by actively listening and observing your team, you'll be able to identify those who seem more hesitant than others to share their ideas and opinions. And that way you won't miss what it is that they've got to say. Listening also improves your decision making. Informed choices really need a bit of a 360 view on what all the options are, which listening really provides. This is about making sure that you've heard everyone and are aware of any feelings or hesitancy that your individual team members may have about new ideas or decisions you're making, so that when you do make that choice, you kind of know what you're going to get if you implement whatever that is. It also means you have the opportunity or give others the opportunity to get feedback on what they're thinking. And lastly, listening really boosts team morale. Feeling heard and valued really motivates your team. Think about times where you yourself might have wanted to contribute to something, but you felt like you weren't really being heard or that your opinion wasn't going to matter. So often we'll sit back in those situations and not say anything because it doesn't feel like it's worth it. Then compare that feeling to when you've had a manager or leader really draw you out to hear your opinion or get your feedback, and the difference between how that feels. I know for me, that feeling is a lot more positive and is the kind of thing I want to cultivate in my own team, as it really does boost morale and give people confidence, as well as trust that you are going to hear them and listen to their opinion. And then at the end, you're making a more informed decision as a leader. For listening like a leader, you really want to move from passive listening and just hearing to active listening. To do this, you first have to give your full attention. Put away distractions, maintain eye contact, and show genuine interest. This can be a challenge and something that you may need to constantly be aware of so that you're managing how you're responding to someone who's talking to you. When I'm meeting with my team members, I have my phone on silent and I'll have my computer there if I know I need to take notes. However, I always signal that I'm taking notes so that they know that I'm not just working on something else on my computer. I also try and maintain that eye contact even when they're talking, and only make really brief notes if I can, so I'm not spending the whole time typing. I also have my computer on Do Not Disturb so that I'm not getting notifications and messages that pop up to distract me, and it's not making any noise. The next tip for active listening is to ask clarifying questions. Ensure you understand the speaker's message by asking thoughtful questions. So don't get stuck in your own head thinking about, oh, I need to say that, or I have the answer to that. Really listen to what they're saying rather than thinking about what you're going to say next. And then you can ask questions that are directly related to what they're talking about to make sure that you understand. Next tip is to paraphrase and summarize. Repeat back to them any key points in your own words that you took from what they were saying. This not only reinforces that you're actually listening to them, It also ensures that your understanding of what they're trying to say to you is accurate to what they are trying to get across. The other tip is to practice non-verbal communication. This is about your body language, so it's nodding your head when they're saying something that you agree with, and ensuring that your facial movements are appropriate. So if you're agreeing with what they're saying, smiling a little bit and nodding is all a good cue to the speaker that you are hearing them and you understand and you're on the same page and you agree. It's pretty hard to keep talking to somebody if they're just staring at you with a blank face and showing no emotion at all. It's not very encouraging to keep talking. This also moves into why it's really important to understand body language. Communication is not just verbal. I talk about this a bit in my video on how to be a confident leader, which is linked on the screen. But there are a number of cues in body language which send a really clear message. So for example, crossed arms can indicate defensiveness or disagreement. Nodding and leaning in usually shows attentiveness and interest. Fidgeting and avoiding eye contact can show nervousness, discomfort, or hesitation. You really need to consider body language as a leader, because you will be communicating messages to people through how you stand and your body language. There could be times where you do actually need to show you're annoyed, even in a leadership role. I know at home, I show it quite clearly. So for example, if my 4-year-old is drawing on his sister, I am going to cross my arms, even though I'm trying not to laugh, just to show him that actually that's not okay. And this applies in the workplace too. Well, hopefully not the drawing, but you know what I mean. If you're meeting with a team member to talk about the progress on a project, you'll want to ensure that you're nodding and leaning in to encourage them to keep talking and share the progress that they've made so far, rather than fidgeting and looking around, as that'll show disinterest and that you're not really listening to them. A few things to be mindful of when you are really digging into that listening like a leader. Avoid interrupting. Give the speaker the space and the time to finish what they're saying before you talk. Avoid giving advice right away. Sometimes people just need to be heard. They don't need to be fixed. And they might just need you to validate their feelings or offer support. It can be very easy to try and empathize by sharing your own situation that might be slightly familiar. However, the idea with active listening isn't to look for an opportunity to talk about yourself. It's to ensure that you're really listening thoroughly before you respond. So if you are giving advice, it's accurate to their situation, not your own. Another note is responding with empathy. Acknowledge the speaker's emotions and show that you understand or you're trying to understand their perspective. This can be tricky if you really haven't experienced anything like what they're sharing with you. But as a leader, showing empathy is about caring about their experience and trying to put yourself in their shoes so that you can understand it more and focus on offering practical support. Now, if you're getting some good tips from this video, can you please like and subscribe? It really helps me out a lot. And for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Nikki. I've been in leadership for 17 years and have gone from leading just 2 people to leading leaders on multiple locations. Now back to the listening. My last 3 tips are about being patient and being present. Don't rush the conversation. Give the speaker time to express themselves. Be mindful of your own bias. Try to set aside your own opinions and feelings about a situation so you can hear their message objectively. You should also show appreciation. Thank the speaker for their thoughts and feelings, as for some people this does not come easy, and you need to show that you really appreciate them sharing with you so that they'll be more inclined to keep doing it. By following these tips, you can start implementing being a more active and engaged listener, which is definitely going to improve your leadership communication skills, build stronger relationships, and really help your decision making. Subscribe for more leadership tips, and thanks for watching.